It's over. It's finished. 2020 is about to be nothing but a memory. And I, for one, am pretty excited about what comes next. Hey, this is Chad with BeGoneForGood. Today we're going to be talking all about 2020. Everything that we did, the things we saw, the things we didn't get to do, the ups, the downs with the channel, with the travel, with the things that got put on the back burner, with the things that we managed to squeak by, and everything we've got in store for 2021. Really quickly, let me start with the channel because this has been a banner year for BeGoneForGood on YouTube. We did about 61 videos, 62 with this one, and we had about 450,000 views on the channel, including about 4,000 extra subscribers. So thank you very much to all of you who put out the word, who watched, who commented, who liked, who subscribed. All of it is just amazing, and we are floored with what 2020 looked like for us. To dig in just a little bit deeper, we did 6 videos on the Long Way Up series. I know I was super excited about it, and we dealt with the speculation, the trip, the finish, the first watch, the final thoughts, all of it. We did a lot on the Long Way Up this year, and I had a really good time with that series all over. Our top watched video, though, was a video that we shot actually in November or December of 2019. It was released then, but apparently it's still really powerful on YouTube this year. And it was the Africa Twin 3 Reasons to Skip It video, which got about 75,000 views just in 2020. After that, in 2020, we shot a video about the CB500X and why it's the perfect starter bike, and that got about 40,000 views just on that video alone. So again, thank you very much for watching. For those of you who are new to this channel, we do basically one big trip a year. We do a bunch of training sessions and meetups and things like that, but we have one big trip a year that we focus on. And this year, in 2020, it was the Mid-Atlantic BDR. Now, we had done a BDR in the past, going to Utah, and we're way over our heads. So our focus for the Mid-Atlantic was really getting through it, doing the best job that we could, and we learned a lot along the way. A few things that we pulled from that experience is, one, finishing a BDR. It was just incredible to be able to go start to finish. We skipped a couple sections, but ultimately we completed it. We felt really good about getting all the way through it in about 8 days or so. And we also got to start off with probably the most exciting event we've had so far, with Kevin having a crash when we were on the Snake in Tennessee. So we hadn't technically gotten to the Mid-Atlantic yet, but it was all part of the same trip. And I'll tell you, the crash really focuses your mentality. It focuses the things that are important to you when you're taking trips like this with friends. We also got to meet a new friend, Mark, coming up from Mexico. He was on his way to Canada, decided he was going to join us for the Mid-Atlantic. We kept him waiting a little bit long in Tennessee, but once we met up, this was a big step for me. I had never really been open to meeting up or hanging out, and I have a little bit of trouble with that. But Mark was amazing. He joined the ride, he had fun with us, he dealt with all of the little peccadillos that come with traveling with me, from comfort to camping and late starts and wanting to find out where food is at all times, and ice cream socials for my reward at the end of the day. It's a mess. If you ever want to ride with BeGoneForGood, you're in for a treat, both good and bad, really. So just get used to it. And Mark, you did a great job. Thank you so much for coming along. It could not have been a better experience having you join the trip, and I'm super, super thankful that we made that happen. And I'm really excited for adding riders to future trips and really getting to kind of know people on the trail, which I think kind of opens everybody up a little bit and gets you inside a person in a way that I think conversations probably normally wouldn't do. So that was awesome. The other thing that sort of materialized out of the Mid-Atlantic BDR experience was recognizing what it was that we valued about the trip. Again, the crash really crystallizes that, but it's also a thought that we went through, and we considered, is the ride the thing that's most important? And as beautiful as the Mid-Atlantic was and as great of a ride it was, we determined that it's really a lot more of the interactions that we have, not only with each other, but the people that exist in all of these different areas that we're going through, and also the environments. One of the most impactful moments that we had, or at least I had, was when we went to Antietam and seeing the history of this country, knowing the things that went through there. And I mean, we're traveling through and having a great time, but at one point, that was hell on earth. And just the gravity of that moment that we got to see, and some of the grave sites that we visited, and some of the old homes and hospitals and towns that we rode through that just steeped in history. It was just incredible and really galvanized my thinking about what is most valuable to me on these trips. And I hope I was able to bring a little bit of that to you with the Mid-Atlantic series that we did, the 3 videos that we edited once we got home, and talked about all the experiences that we had on the trip. That was an amazing experience altogether too. So the Mid-Atlantic BDR was really just a massive part of my year when it came to the editing, when it came to the shooting, the riding, meeting up with new people, getting through troubled times and getting through great times, and ultimately looking forward to the future and what we're really gonna focus on those next trips. One of the other things that came up this year that I was really happy, and it came a lot earlier than I expected, was the start of us kind of giving back. And that included building our own Patreon page where you can get extra access not only to the team and to me and the things that we've done, and extra videos and Q&As and insights and all that sort of stuff. You get extra stuff for BeGoneForGood, but that helps buy us a little bit of capability to do good along the way. We also started pushing out some of the funds that we receive from YouTube to do good in a lot in Central America right now. We've gone through Honduras, Ecuador, Guatemala, and we give little private loans out to companies there so that folks can buy the textiles they need, the food they need, the extra livestock they need to run whatever their business is, and then they pay that loan back in small increments. It's an amazing organization. It's called Kiva. You can check the link down below if you want to get involved, or just see what we've been doing here at BeGoneForGood and how all of the watches and comments and likes and subscribes have done a lot of tangible good in those areas. We also started selling t-shirts on Teespring, different designs, BeGoneForGood logos, different sayings, things that have come out of our travels, like less gear, more water, which was Joe's famous line from Utah and still rattles around in my head every time I have a heavy bike and feel a little bit dehydrated out on the road. It's a constant struggle for me, and thankfully with that shirt now I can see it every day and know that I'm probably not packing appropriately for whatever trip I'm going on, even if it's just 5 minutes to the grocery store. Thank you, Joe, for that. And if you want to check out those shirts, the link is below in the description. Now, seeing as I've been riding for a couple of years now, most of my gear has already been set. I've got the big stuff. I've got the luggage, I've got the tank bag, I've got all my riding stuff, I've got my boots, my helmet, everything like that is pretty well set. So additions I made to the gear this year were pretty limited. I bought a new Nemo camping pillow, which I will do a review of because it's outstandingly good. It's a little expensive, and I tend to really overvalue my comfort. So maybe isn't the type of pillow that everybody should have, but if you are in the market for a comfortable, small, lightweight camping pillow, you can't do better than the Nemo luxury pillow. I'll do a review in the future. Also picked up a new MacBook Air, which allows me to edit super fast, and it's small enough that I can actually start taking it on the road and don't have to worry about the added weight or where am I gonna put it that I had to with my previous computer. So that is a big step up for me. And the last piece of new gear that I have is the Vero app, which I initially had looked at when I first bought the bike in 2016, and I think it was still kind of a new app and wasn't really impressed with. I just don't think they had the infrastructure down. It just wasn't what it was supposed to be or what I really wanted at that time. I've since looked at it this year and wow, just night and day. It is so much better, so much cleaner, so much more full of everything you're looking for, from tracks all around the country, anywhere your area is, leads you up and down different rides, even locally. You don't have to be out in Utah or Nevada to get a good ride. They show you all sorts of rides in your local area, and it's a phenomenal app. And there's a free side and then there's a pay side. And I would challenge you that if you want to try the free side out, I'm pretty sure you'll be buying that paid side fairly shortly afterwards because it is that good. Now, obviously this year with the pandemic, there was a bunch of stuff that kind of slid off the table. I had planned to go to the Horizons Unlimited meetup. I had planned to go to Overland Expo, and both of those kind of got canked. There was a bunch of training along the way that didn't happen. And there were different like day trips and weekend trips that were supposed to happen. And with campsites shut down and state borders closed, it was just a massive mess. And I want to give a big shout out to the entire ADV community, including you guys, for keeping everybody's spirits up. And whether that was virtual meetups, whether that was Q&As and talks and more video releases on YouTube, things that kind of got us through it. I know Itchy Boots went through a ton down in South America to get back home, but her series makes you realize that there's still adventure out there, even if you're traveling through local countries or your trip has to change dramatically, there's just a ton that can be done. And really heading out with the right mentality is what it takes to make an adventure. It's not necessarily where you are, what bike you're riding, or anything along those lines. The adventure is within you. And I think 2020 gave us a great chance to see that and believe it and become it. And I think it only helps when restrictions come down to have that type of mentality. As we travel more and more, having that same mentality is gonna lead us to some great places. The last event that I got to be a part of this year was getting to do a training session out at Penmerrill Farms up in Virginia with DC Dirt Camp. BJ Hessler and Pat Jacks was up there leading some incredible classes. I got to shoot an all women's class on a Friday and then participate in a co-ed class on a Saturday, Sunday. It was incredible to see new riders and more advanced riders all learning together and figuring things out and seeing what these bikes are really capable of and what we are really capable of as we learn to ride a little bit better and better and get a little bit more confident with each of those rides. It was an amazing weekend, shot a ton of video. Upcoming will be the video not only of the Women's Day, but of the Co-Ed Day that will be coming in 2021. So definitely if you're interested in that type of thing and training, definitely subscribe to the channel, like us, hit that bell so you get notifications anytime anything is uploaded. You can also find a link in the description below for DC Dirt Camp and all the training sessions they've got coming up. In 2021, we're gonna be hitting a lot more training. We're probably gonna be able to head down and hit a training session with Brett Tax. We might be heading out to see Bill Dragoo and his family to do some training out there, and I think it's Oklahoma. It's gonna be a little bit longer trip. Anytime you have an opportunity to get training, do it. And if you have to pay a little bit for it, great. If you don't, if it's something free offered by your township or your state police or anything along those lines, get training. It will dramatically improve the riding you're capable of doing and the comfort level you have for any obstacles that you come across or any difficulties that you have. Just immediately makes you a better rider. So if you have that chance to do it, it's what my focus is going to be for 2021. So I hope you'll join me at a lot of those places. Our big trip is still up in the air. It looks like it's probably going to be something in the Midwest. We've talked about riding through the Bourbon Trail and doing distillery visits and riding and kind of back and forth, obviously not drinking while we're riding, but kind of getting a little bit of the historical feel of the area, as well as hitting any tracks and trails that we can while we're there as well. That is all still very much in flux. If you have any suggestions, places that we have to go, distilleries we must visit, anything that's gonna be in that Tennessee, Kentucky area, let us know. We're pretty wide open at this point. Plans will solidify probably in the first couple of months of 2021. So if you wanna get in there, let us know if you want to ride with us. Let us know if you want to suggest certain places. If you want us to come by and visit, just give us the word and we'll put you on the list for things that we want to do. Thank you very much for watching. 2021 is going to be outstanding. Have a safe and happy new year. Thank you for everything that has happened in 2020. I know it was kind of a rough year for everybody, but for Be Gone for Good, for me, for the team, it's been amazing. And that's primarily thanks to you and all of the subscribing, liking, commenting, everything that you've done for this channel has just blown my mind. This has become a ton more fun over the past year, and I cannot wait to see what we have in store for 2021. I'll see you guys on the other side.